A new superstar has arrived at the Camp Nou. Hello and welcome along to this special presentation of the new Polish super striker Robert Lewandowski right here on Barca TV Plus, and greetings as well to all of you following us on YouTube. We are here today in a buzzing Camp Nou as 50,000 fans have rushed to get tickets to witness the unveiling of the back-to-back winner and still current holder of the FIFA The Best Award. I have the pleasure to be joined by Robert van der Eekhout and Rick Sharma as well as we break down today's event. Gentlemen, how are you both doing on this historic and very hot day indeed?
It is a very hot day, yes. It's very, very warm here in Barcelona, but happy to be here. Surrounded by Barca fans who are very, very excited for this new season, for this new signing that we're going to present today, Robert Lewandowski. We've already seen a little bit of him in a Barca jersey, but there's all the best is yet to come.
That's right, Rick. And how are you doing?
I'm good. Hot, like Robert says. I'm really looking forward to the presentation. Excited to see what Lewandowski can do in a Barca shirt as well. I mean, he really is signing that gets everyone excited. You can see the fans are filling up the stadium. In presentations in the past, they've done one stand, but it looks like they're going all the way around the stadium today, so there should be a lot of buzz about this one.
Well, joining us as well is Bruno Ballester, who's outside of the Camp Nou. Why don't we connect with him to get a sense of what the atmosphere is like? Bruno. Well, we're going to be connecting with him a little bit later, but for now, why don't we break down exactly what the next hour and a half has in store for you today. So right now at 12 o'clock, the private signature between club president Joan Laporta and Robert Lewandowski is taking place. After that, once the signature has been completed, the player will head on over to the dressing room where he will get dressed into the Barca kit and subsequently head on out to the Camp Nou for the very first time dressed as the Barca player right here in what will be his new home. At 12:30, the event will start, which will be presented by our colleague Cristina Collado. There, Robert Lewandowski, as all the new players do, will get presented with the new membership card. He will be officially crowned as a Barca socio, a Barca member. He, of course, will be signing as well the poster that will be raffled off for the auction for the Barca Foundation. And we will hear from the club president, Joan Laporta, as well as the new player. Of course, the customary photographs will take place as well as the player will partake in the traditional rondo.
With the rondo of the Barca Academies.
That's it, with the players of the Barca Academy. And once all that will be completed, Robert Lewandowski will head back into the dressing room to get dressed once again, where he will then head out to face the press in what will be the press conference that will be around 1:30 p.m. Did I leave anything out? I don't think so.
No,
right?
I don't think so. I don't think so. It's going to be a busy day here at Camp Nou. It's going to be a busy weekend here at Camp Nou, because let's not forget that we've got the Gamper Trophy on Sunday, which you'll be able to watch live and exclusively on Barca TV Plus. We'll be here with all the action on Sunday for that Barca against Pumas game.
That's right. That's right. And gentlemen, why don't we talk a little bit more about this very exciting signing indeed. We know that Robert Lewandowski will bring so many qualities to the squad, and perhaps on top of the list, what we can expect from this Polish striker is goals, Rick.
Absolutely. It is the kind of level of goals that very few players in the history of football have managed to achieve. He's scoring on almost a 1 goal per game ratio, which is reserved for the likes of Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo. That level of striker, like truly generation-defining strikers, and that's the kind of player that Barca have brought to the club. But it's not just goals, even though they are sort of the headline from Robert Lewandowski. It's also the build-up play and creativity, which people don't attribute to him that much, but he is capable of doing it, and he likes to come out of the box and link the play and help players like, in this case, Rafinha, Dembele, Ferran Torres, Ansu Fati on the wings get involved as well. And that's why it's so difficult for defenders to handle, because his movement is so good. His runs, I think he honed them under Pep Guardiola at Bayern Munich, and his runs are just incredible. Impossible for defenders to track him.
You've hit on the key point, Rick. He's played under Pep Guardiola. He knows what the Barca style is. He's talked about it to us already in an exclusive interview that you can find on Barca TV Plus as well. The influence that Pep Guardiola had on his game and how he changed the way that Robert Lewandowski looks at football. You talk about the 1 goal to 1 game ratio. It was even better than that last season. He scored 50 goals in 46 games for Bayern Munich. Had an issue with scoring goals last season, with taking their opportunities, and they've addressed it in this transfer market.
Well, as you mentioned, Robert, we already got to see a glimpse of exactly what the Polish striker will bring to the team. He's such a presence as well. Is that, I mean, what player would you compare him to that have maybe passed through the Barca ranks in the past? Have we ever had such a presence in a number 9 position?
I would maybe compare it to what we had with Luis Suarez.
Okay.
Classical number 9 striker. We've seen over the years how Barca have attempted to play with the false 9, and it's been successful, especially in the Messi years. We no longer have that goal-scoring threat in the false 9, so we've gone for the approach of a traditional 9 this time, which is kind of mirrorable, if that's a word, with what Luis Suarez offered us back in the day. But as Rick hit the perfect point, it's not just about scoring the goals for him, it's not just about being in the box, it's about creating for his teammates, and he's excellent at that. We've seen some glimpses of it already throughout the preseason.
Rick, what about, I mean, his technical abilities? We know that, of course, he's very gifted in his aerial abilities, finishing off set plays and crosses as well. But talk to us more about his technical abilities.
I think he's absolutely brilliant technically, and it's something that he's worked on over the years. He's a player that never stops learning, Lewandowski. There's nothing that he won't want to continue to improve in his game. Whenever there's any aspect of his game that he can find an area to improve on, he does it, be that physically, or in this case we're talking about his technical ability. Technically, he's supreme. I mean, look at the coaches he's worked under. Jurgen Klopp, another one at Dortmund, he helped him a lot as well, and it's just fantastic striker who is complete. He's a complete forward.
Well, we just got the news that, in fact, today attending this presentation is none less than 50,300 fans.
57,300.
Sorry, 57,300 fans. Near record-breaking attendance for the crowd. Just a little bit more than the day that Neymar was presented, and a little bit shy off of the day that Ibrahimovic was presented.
I've got the numbers here if you want them.
Go ahead.
60,000 for Ibrahimovic back in 2009. Today, 57,300 here expected at the Camp Nou to witness the official presentation of Robert Lewandowski. I'd say he's the pallbearer of the hope that we have for this season. Then there was 56,500 for Neymar back in 2013. And think of moments in which fans wanted change and they felt that change was coming. Think of Ronaldinho, for example, in 2003. It was 25,000 that day, and it felt like it was a huge amount.
Is that a comparable, understood comparison, the day that Ronaldinho came, to the expectation and excitement that he's generating today?
I think it's fair, yeah. I mean, obviously very different players. Ronaldinho is about the flair, and Lewandowski to me is a goal machine. He's absolutely a killer in the box, and a different style, but in terms of what it could mean for Barcelona, I think that's spot on. He is somebody who could lead this team, and not just the young players, because of course the young players can look at him and see how to be a player that's had such a long and brilliant career and professional career. But even the older players in the squad can look at him and say, this is a guy that is a pure winner, someone that we know we can feed the ball to, and he will put it away and drive us to win trophies this season. And I think that is the good comparison.
And there's been so many comparisons drawn between the first Laporta era and what he's doing now. That first season in 2003-2004, in which the team had a poor start to the season, made a good run in the second half, came in second in La Liga, made some very good signings coming into the second season under Frank Rijkaard and Joan Laporta, the likes of Samuel Eto'o, Deco, Belletti, and Nilsson, all the depth that the team acquired back then. There are so many parallels to what you can draw now. It was a poor goal-scoring season, the first one under Joan Laporta in 2003. Last season was the lowest since then. We came in second as well. We had a good run in the second half of the season. In both seasons, we got knocked out in the quarterfinals of the Europa League or UEFA Cup back then. And depth and quality signings have been made now for the second season. So it's just amazing how you can see all those similarities.
There have been a lot of new faces arriving at the Camp Nou as this summer continues to progress. But why don't we break down a little bit further exactly the trajectory of Robert Lewandowski so far since his start in professional football in the Polish league?
Yeah, he played 2 seasons at Lech Poznan back in 2008-2010. Then, as we know, moved to Borussia Dortmund, helped lead them to a Champions League final against Bayern Munich, the all-German Champions League final, and
His goal-scoring ratio there very similar,
exactly.
both in Lech and Dortmund.
Most definitely. And then, of course, the move to Bayern Munich, where in 375 games, he scored 344 goals. I think maybe numbers only comparable to what Leo Messi has done at Barca.
Exactly, yeah. And I mean, I was saying to you guys before we went on air, today is exactly a year since Lionel Messi left the club. So what a day to announce and present Robert Lewandowski as the new signing, because that's really it. They're with respect to everyone who was in the squad last season who did a good job, especially in the second half of the season. There are very few players of the level of Messi or Lewandowski when it comes to scoring goals in this quantity, and Barca are importing, in theory, a 50-goal striker into the team to remedy that problem.
And before we go to Bruno, you say it's a year since Leo Messi left, and it's Gavi's 18th birthday today, so happy birthday to Gavi.
All right, happy birthday to Gavi indeed. But well, why don't we now connect with Bruno Ballester, who, as I mentioned, is outside of the Camp Nou, and get a sense of the atmosphere is like. Bruno.
Outstanding here outside the Camp Nou. Long queues, everyone wants to see for the first time Robert Lewandowski stepping into the Camp Nou. Media also from all around the world, and in a few minutes everything will start, the official presentation at the Camp Nou. So we're going to take our seats now in the stands and enjoy it with all the fans to also know all their opinions.
Thank you for that, Bruno. We're going to be connecting with you a little bit later as well, as you will continue to talk to the fans. Just listen to that. Listen to this 57,000.
Amazing.
It's buzzing. It's buzzing. And this on a very hot summer day. It is, of course, holiday here in Spain. Many the kids, or all the kids in fact, are off school. Many of the adults have already taken off work as well, so it's a good occasion to come on to the come on down to the Camp Nou and witness this historic day.
Yeah, I'm amazed. I mean, it's not even a game day. You'd expect this for Sunday, for the Camp, for the official presentation of the team. As we said it throughout last season as well, with all this young generation of players, the arrival of Xavi, of course, there's hope. There's new hope at Barca, and signings like Robert Lewandowski are kind of like the icing on the cake. Now the team need to go out and prove themselves, but now they're ready to compete and play in the big games against the big teams again. Robert Lewandowski is an insurance in terms of goals. I'm sure that there's some fans and some opponent fans who are having a little bit of a giggle at the fact that Lewandowski has not scored his first goal for Barca yet in 3 games. Those were friendlies. They don't count. It's pre-season. We're ramping up. He's saving them for the good moments. He's saving them to score them here at Camp Nou.
That's right, and as you mentioned, Robert Lewandowski is an insurance of scoring goals, and of course, with scoring so many goals come usually titles as well. I want to ask our team if we can take a look at the career titles that Robert Lewandowski has won throughout his career as well, because also that is very impressive indeed, both collectively and individual. I mentioned at the top of the show that he is, of course, the back-to-back winner and still current holder of the FIFA The Best Award. But take a look at that, the collective trophies that he's won, from a Champions League trophy with Bayern Munich to the European Super Cup as well. And I mean, perhaps the one that is standing out the most there is, of course, that dominance in the German Bundesliga, the 8 German Bundesliga titles.
Wherever he's gone, he's won. Yeah. And it's one Champions League title, which, with the dominance that Bayern Munich has had over the last few years, could have been more than one. And he could have even had the chance to win it with Borussia Dortmund. That was a tight final against Bayern Munich back in 2013. So yeah, it's a long list of titles. It's a long list of career awards individually as well. Top scorer in every season that he's played, I imagine. He's got the Golden Boot as well. And yes, he's 33 years old. He's arriving at a late stage in his career at Barca, but we know he keeps himself in shape. He's an ultimate professional, and he's ready to make an impact here at Barca.
Well, as we are watching the fans that continue to pack the Camp Nou, as we mentioned, 57,300 fans that are wanting to witness this historic day. We're going to continue to talk about Robert Lewandowski and, of course, await the arrival of the man of the hour himself, as he will tread the Camp Nou pitch very, very shortly indeed, before he will then address the press.
I hope he's put some sun cream on.
I hope so too.
Because it's very, very warm, and well, I mean, there's a little bit of a few clouds in the sky, but
and these fans,
these fans
are
showing
dedicated as well.
Definitely, yes.
I mean,
Can you see any Lewandowski shirts there already? Not yet. I see a Ronald Araujo one. That's nice.
That's right. And many of these fans, of course, will be seated as well in areas that are covered with, or I mean, I should say, not covered by the shade. So, got to appreciate this dedication.
And
what do you want to say?
We just saw it on our images there. Maybe worth mentioning as well. The change in naming of Camp Nou. We need to get used need to get used to naming it Spotify Camp Nou. It needs to be imprinted in our brains now. It does. It's got a good ring to it. Spotify Camp Nou.
I like it. It does take some time to get used to, Rick, but Spotify Camp Nou is that's the new name. We got to get used to saying that.
Yeah, Spotify Camp Nou. I quite like it. I like the name. I like the design. The stadium looks nice with the Spotify logos and design in it. It's a cool sponsor as well.
It is a cool sponsor, yeah.
It is a very.
I mean, I've had Spotify account for probably a decade now, so it's like, to me, it's great sponsor.
So Rick, Robert mentioned how the signing of Robert Lewandowski is perhaps the icing on the cake after the board and the technical staff have, of course, acquired quite a list of new players to join this squad. What does a player with so much experience bring to the team, and how important as well of a player of his quality and experience to join such a young and exciting crop of players?
Well, of course, when you sign a player like Lewandowski, who has won more or less everything there is to win, as you pointed out, he brings that grit and knowledge of how to win to a very young team. A lot of the players in the squad are new to professional football over the last couple of seasons. Ansu Fati, Pedri, Gavi, the likes of those guys who have performed brilliantly, but they also need to be blended with that mix of experience they have in Piqué, Busquets, Jordi Alba, for example, but also now Lewandowski. And the interesting thing to me is, like, as you pointed out, he's won one Champions League, and he might think, maybe I should have won more. But isn't that just a perfect combination for Barcelona, who also want to win the Champions League? And they say, well, come here, we'll win it together, we can do it together. So as well as having won a lot of trophies, he still has that hunger and drive to win more. And he said that himself, he sees himself still capable of playing at the elite level for years to come. And I believe it. When you look at him physically, there are fewer more impressive players physically than Robert Lewandowski. And you hear about everything he gets into with his sort of routines to keep himself in shape. Some of the things he does, like eating his dessert before his main meal, because apparently the sugar metabolizes quicker, and then you can separate it from the carbs and the protein you have afterwards. He goes to every length there is. Another one I've read is that he sleeps on his left-hand side to keep his right leg, which is just his shooting leg in the best shape possible.
Well, for all of you that are just joining us here on Barça TV Plus and YouTube as well, welcome along to this special presentation. As you can hear, the ambience is rife within the stadium. 57,300 fans will be joining us today to witness the unveiling of the Polish super striker Robert Lewandowski. And Bruno Ballester, rather, has been talking with the fans to get a sense exactly of what the fans are feeling. So Bruno, over to you.
Well, here we are at the Camp Nou with all the fans that are waiting to Robert Lewandowski to be here at the Camp Nou. And here we have Aisha. Aisha, hi, how are you?
I'm great, how are you?
How excited are you about the new signing of Robert Lewandowski?
I'm so excited. Honestly, this club has, since I was little, I've been seeing it just become better and better every day. And with everybody coming in, the young people and the originals, as we can say, this team is getting better and better every day. And you can really see the work that they put in to make this team as a renowned name of Barça.
You have been living lots of years in the States. What's your feelings also to be here at the Camp Nou in such a special day like this one?
Honestly, it feels amazing. It's been like 9 years since I've been here. I was coming with my family, my dad, since I was little, 2 years old, and it's just a special moment, brings back good memories, family, and just being, coming back to my roots.
What about the new project, apart from the signing of Lewandowski? What do you think that Barça can achieve this new campaign?
Well, actually, I'm not very familiar with the new campaign, but honestly, any project that Barça commits to, I think just betters and makes the team, just keep growing and getting better and just, achieving new things that can attract new people, maybe to just, get familiar with the name and get to know our culture better.
And from 0 to 10, how excited are you about the signing of Lewandowski?
A 10, I'm very excited. Honestly, it's just everybody that comes in here is amazing, and just how they work with the team, how they adapt to how we work, and just, everything's amazing and good.
Thank you very much, Aisha.
Thank you.
Well, the words here of Aisha, one of the members and of the fans that are here today at the Camp Nou, and that are, of course, 10 out of 10 excited to see Robert Lewandowski wearing Barca's shirt.
Bruno.
Well, it's lovely to hear about the excitement of the fans. Robert Lewandowski, let's take a look at the timeline of since he arrived at the Football Club Barcelona. On the 16th of July, an agreement in principle was reached with Bayern Munich. That was the same day that the team flew to the US. Lewandowski joined them a couple of days later. He underwent the medical there, and he got to meet his teammates. On the 19th of July, the full agreement was reached. We've got footage there of when he arrived, got to meet his teammates, one by one, hugs, handshakes, and greeting everyone. And he soon joined training in the US.
There, Aubameyang.
Yep. Lewandowski there meeting his teammates. That is the medical he underwent on the 18th of July. One day before Barca played their first game of the tour against Inter Miami. And from there on, there was the presentation on the 20th. And 3 games in which he featured on the 24th, 27th and 31st of July. There's Robert Lewandowski with Dr. Ricard Bruna. He's in tip-top shape, so I'm sure the medical wasn't an issue for him. And that is the presentation, the mini presentation that they had in Miami on the 20th of July. The proper presentation is happening here today with all the honours, with all the fans, with everything happening. But we got to hear from both him and President Joan Laporta in that mini presentation in Miami.
Speaking a little Spanish, I'm sure he's taking Spanish and Catalan classes, but he dared already to kind of give some statements in Spanish early on there on the tour through Miami as the team toured the US. What impressions did he leave you in these very early stages, Rick?
I think in terms of off the pitch, I think very intelligent, smart guy. Like I said earlier, someone will do everything they can to make sure the conditions are optimal for himself to thrive at Barcelona. I mean, there was an interview with one of his former teammates once who was asked about Lewandowski, and he said, oh, he was just reading a book about how to breathe better, to learn sort of optimal techniques for everything, basically, to optimize his body and his life to be the best he can be at football. And in terms of on the pitch, I think he's been bright. He hasn't got that goal yet, but no doubt it will come, quite possibly on Sunday in the Joan Gamper Trophy. And I mean, once the first one goes in, the rest will follow. It's going to be a lot of goals.
You were talking about his conditioning, and obviously we've read and heard the stories about his wife being a nutritionist, specialised in sports, and that special diet that he has. I think it involves having dessert before your main course, something that I've never tried. I mean, maybe I should, I don't know. But no, he takes care of his body. He's an ultimate professional. And the skill is there. The skill is the last thing you lose in football.
And how important is it as well, the fact that he is such a winner? He is such a, not just an experienced player, but he's won so many trophies. To have somebody come into a dressing room that, quite frankly, I mean, our exits on the European stage have been traumatic, of course. So many players have experienced these traumas. Yet here's somebody that is used to a win, that is such a winner, that has this momentum coming with him. He's a funny guy as well. I mean, he brings with him a good humor as well into the dressing room. So in that sense, it's such an important addition as well in this dressing room, isn't he?
No doubt. I've heard already that the players are getting along with him, that everything's gelling nicely, that everyone likes him, and it's hard. You have to respect him. For one, as soon as he arrived, you have to respect him for everything he's done in football. But it's good that the team was also getting along with him and liking him as well. And to me, it's imperative to have a player to come in after a couple of seasons where Barca haven't quite been at the level they wanted to be. They won the Copa del Rey a couple of seasons ago, but they haven't won La Liga for a couple of seasons. They haven't won the Champions League for a few seasons since 2015. He is somebody who can motivate the rest of the team and say, come with me on this journey. Let's win it again. Let's do it together. And I think that Barca will rise to the level of Lewandowski.
You talk about his teammates having immediate respect for him. I mean, I've never been in a situation like that, in a dressing room like that, but there must be a difference in between, for example, let's say the signing of Rafinha, a young, upcoming player who's yet to prove himself in a big club, and Lewandowski. With Rafinha, maybe it's the feelings like, okay, we hear you're a nice player, now show us. Yeah. With Lewandowski, it's immediately get on your knees and praise him already. And I imagine, yeah, he must have the ultimate respect from his teammates. From what we hear, he's gelled him well immediately. and it feels seamless when he's on the pitch.
The key to that is you sign players like Rafinha, and they're coming to Barca. They've played well at Leeds United. Can they step up and show that over the next few years? And it's a sign to say, oh, we're doing something that could be good in the mid-term, the long term. With Lewandowski, it's a statement saying we win now. You don't sign Lewandowski and expect to win in 3 or 4 years' time. You sign Lewandowski and you expect to win now.
Well, as you can hear, the atmosphere continues to heat up, both in terms of temperature and in terms of atmosphere as well. It's very loud within the stadium. 57,300 fans are packing this stadium. So why don't we connect with Bruno once more to see what the fans are going through at this moment. Bruno.
And here we are with more people that are in the Camp Nou, and I'm really excited, I think, about the new signing of Robert Lewandowski. Guys, your names?
Aditya. Christian.
Where are you from?
Dubai. I'm from here.
Question, easy one. How excited are you about the new signing of Robert Lewandowski?
As excited as one can be. I can't wait to see him play for us.
I'm really excited because he's a very good player, so it's very nice to come here to see his presentation.
How important do you think that was to sign a striker number 9 in a goal machine like Robert Lewandowski?
We really needed it because we need the goals this season. I think with Lewandowski we have a real chance to win the league and the Champions League.
And also because we had some injured players, so that's why we needed someone like him.
And what about the new project, apart from the signing of Lewandowski? Do you think that this year the team can achieve many trophies?
Yeah, 100%. I'm hoping for the Champions League this year.
We have a really good team, so we hope that we could win something like next year.
Thank you very much. Well, you can hear it. People really excited, and of course, they want their team to achieve important goals this campaign.
Well, we're getting closer to the moment of the hour. You can hear. It's been a long time I haven't heard the Camp Nou like this.
Are they chanting for me? I mean, they were chanting Robert, so I don't know. I mean, who knows? Who knows? Anyway, no, a quality signing that we've made here. The fans are absolutely excited. Probably the biggest arrival since, what, maybe Antoine Griezmann or maybe before Luis Suarez. I mean, they do say that goals are the essence of football, and we've signed goals. We've signed an absolute fox in the box. He scavenges for goals. Food is his goals are his food, and he's a predator. He's a predator in the box, and I'm sure we'll see lots and lots of goals this season.
How important is it as well, the fact that he has been managed under Pep Guardiola, of course, a mythical figure here within Football Club Barcelona, the fact that he already has a little bit of that knowledge of the style of play that Xavi is also trying to implement within this team?
Absolutely essential, because like I said, he's here to win in the short term, so the quicker you can adapt to Barcelona's game, the better he'll be, quicker. And that's exactly what Xavi needs. He wanted a player who could come in, fit into the team, score the goals. Aubameyang did a very good job last season with the goals. I think what Lewandowski offers is a little bit different in terms of the build-up play and linking with the rest of the team in that sense. And so I think it's brilliant that he's had years under Pep Guardiola and many other great coaches. Like I mentioned Jurgen Klopp earlier, Hansi Flick, Jupp Heynckes. He's had great coaches over the years who have added a lot to his game.
He's had incredible coaches. He's had incredible coaches, yes. It's really hard to hear you, Diego. And I mean, no chance of hearing what Rick is saying, absolutely. Because the atmosphere and all the noise here is so loud. But anyway, yeah, he's had some great coaches. He talks highly of them. The last one was Nagelsmann, another proven coach. And one of the things that Barca have this season compared to last is depth. And Xavi has an arsenal of weapons to throw out there, especially in attack. Think of Dembélé, Rafinha, Lewandowski, Aubameyang, Ansu Fati, Ferran Torres, Memphis. I mean, his brain must explode when he has to pick or when he has to make the choice in the first game in La Liga next week against Rayo Vallecano. But he'll love it. He'll love to have those options because we saw throughout last season how important it is to have depth, to have players that you can bring in and make it feel seamless and that the quality doesn't drop. Obviously, last season when the likes of Abde, Ferran Jutgla came in to help, they did a fantastic job. Yes. But we're not talking of the likes of Robert Lewandowski or Rafinha in that sense. So Xavi now has a chance to go out there, compete, and if someone gets injured, if someone's out for whatever reason, he has a quality substitute to bring on.
Now, Rick, being a little bit cheeky and playing coach for a little bit, I want to ask you a little particular about the duo between Aubameyang and Robert Lewandowski. Of course, teammates during their time at Dortmund, but we're seeing that Xavi has also tried to play them both in the starting 11 with Aubameyang out on the left wing.
I think it's not going to be what Xavi regularly does, but it's absolutely an option. I mean, Aubameyang playing on the left-hand side for Arsenal a lot, and it's very, very effective from there because he can start out wide, drift into the middle, and be in the right place at the right time to score. And why not put Ousmane Dembele and have 3 ex-Dortmund forwards in the attack as well? I think that could be an interesting link-up too. And when Barca really need a goal, especially late in games, maybe then it's an option to have two players whose finishing is absolutely elite, and then supply the balls to them with Pedri, Gavi, Dembele or Rafinha as well, and have both of them on the pitch. I think it's an option, yeah.
We saw in the game against New York Red Bull in the pre-season how Xavi started with Dembele, Lewandowski and Aubameyang, and it worked. It worked. Oh no, sorry, it was Rafinha. There was a game in which we started, maybe it was against Juve then. My memory's fair. To make a point there. I wanted to make a point there, but that we have seen the lineup with Dembele, with Lewandowski and Aubameyang. I do think it was the game against Juve, and it worked well. We saw Aubameyang and Lewandowski interchange positions, and Lewandowski make a couple of runs down the left-hand side, and he's still got pace there. Well, the speed that he hit last season, his top speed was 33 kilometers per hour. That's fast. That's still fast for a 33-year-old.
Well, we're seeing that the camera is slowly but surely focusing on that Salit y Disfrutar welcome mat, as in very shortly, very briefly, Robert Lewandowski himself will take his very first steps dressed as a Barca player right here on the Camp Nou. In the meantime, though, we've been very busy here on Barca TV Plus, and we have a lot more in store for you as well. We've had many presentations of all of the new signings, Rafinha, Koundé, the re-signing as well of Ousmane Dembele. I know I'm leaving somebody out here.
Christensen, Cassier.
Thank you, Christensen.
Yeah, and we've got exclusive interviews with all of them on Barca TV Plus, so be sure to go and check all of those out. Very interesting things that they had to say to us upon arrival. They've all been very impressive throughout the pre-season, so I've been very impressed with all the signings. Careful, because I think the player is coming out, Robert Lewandowski.
We'll leave you now with some of the atmosphere and ambient sounds of the Camp Nou as Robert Lewandowski treads the field of the Spotify Camp Nou.
We're waiting for the player to come out, accompanied by President Joan Laporta for the official toques, for the signing of the poster. And we'll hear their first words, President Laporta and Robert Lewandowski. We can see our cameraman coming out, walking out of the tunnel. That means that he's just about to come out.
Bé, gràcies a tots vosaltres per ser en aquesta presentació.
And thank you everyone for being here today.
I entenc perquè el Barça és més que un club.
Barça more than a club.
Visca el Barça! I visca Catalunya! Bé. En primer lloc, vull agrair al Robert Lewandowski.
I'd like to thank Robert in the first.
Creieu-me, no era fàcil.
Believe me.
No era fàcil.
It's been easy.
I aquesta operació fonamentalment ha sortit perquè és un jugador que vol jugar al Barça.
He's very committed to the club.
Tot el vostre suport.
And he deserves all the credit and all the support from the fans.
Després, vull fer un agraïment especial al seu representant,
His manager, Sahabi.
Thank you very much for your big efforts to bring the player to Football Club Barcelona. Thanks a lot, brother. Després, un agraïment especial al Mateu Alemany.
Also,
A la família del Robert Lewandowski.
Lewandowski's family, his wife, has been supporting all the way. And he's certainly, she's keys of his performances.
We know here that they take care of you in order to be fit. Bueno, bé, avui és un dia històric.
It's a big day today.
El que pensa, el que sent en aquests moments.
We want to hear Robert Lewandowski. Thank you.
Now we want to hear from you, Robert. First of all, what do you feel here that you are, as a Barça player at the Spotify Camp Nou?
Bon dia.
Good morning.
Hola, culers. Estic molt content de ser a Barcelona.
I'm very happy to be in Barcelona.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you.
I'm very proud to be here, to be the players of FC Barcelona. That was the long way, but in the end I'm here, so my happiness is very high, and I'm sure that in this stadium we give you a lot of goals, a lot of winning, and I hope that you are support us every single game.
Espera, que falli. Ara, ja està, perdoneu. En Robert Lewandowski, que us saludava en català.
First words in Catalan.
Ens agrada que puguin aprendre
We love it.
català. Que està molt orgullós d'estar aquí, ha estat un llarg camí.
Proud of being here, it's been a long way.
Aquí trepitjant aquesta gespa on confia en poder donar-nos
And he
molts
helps to give
i moltes
goals and joy.
Robert, around 50,000 people are here today to see you. What message would you give to all the fans that join us here today and to all the thousands that are following us via streaming from home?
This is amazing that see so many fans in this stadium, Sporting Camp Nou. This is something special for me. I am pleasure to be here to see so many fans, and I'm sure that every game in Camp Nou that will be some magic in this season, because we're ready for this season, and I hope so that in the end we win the titles.
Doncs realment impressionat, en Robert, de veure així la grada tan plena. Estàs encantat de veure tants fans i confia en poder veure grans nits.
Really wants to see the team winning trophies.
For all the fans, Sunday, it will be the first game of the new season here at the Spotify Camp Nou at 8 p.m. against Pumas from Mexico. It's a traditional Joan Gamper's trophy. What do you expect of this first game?
I know that the fans coming to the stadium support us. It's also important for us. And with this support, what I see, we can give even more. And this means a lot for us. So I'm pretty sure that the last game before the season, the fans coming to the stadium, they will go and support us. This is important. And muchas gracias.
Doncs en Robert, que us espera aquest diumenge en aquest primer partit.
So Robert will be waiting for you here on Sunday, the first game, the Gamper tournament.
Ho diré en polonès. Dziękuję, Robert Lewandowski. Vol dir gràcies, Robert Lewandowski.
Thank you in Polish.
També volia fer un agraïment especial i ho heu d'entendre als membres de la Junta Directiva,
All the
que són uns valents.
directors, board, everyone, they are very brave. And Rafa Juste
Que està ajudant a que tot.
has been helping a lot.
I us demano una crida.
And I'd like to ask you all, come to the Gamper.
Al Robert Lewandowski, als seus
Come to see Robert Lewandowski play here.
un acte de presentació també històric. 5è Robert Lewandowski i visca el Barça!
Gràcies, president.
Thank you.
Aquest diumenge a les 8 del vespre esperem veure el camp ple pel Gamper. Robert, we'll hear you later at the press conference, but we want to see you now playing football. First of all, we take some pictures for the press. Gràcies, president.
Well, there we had the first words of Robert Lewandowski, dressed in full Barça gear, as he now partakes in the traditional touches of the ball, juggling the ball, getting supported by the fans, and what a support and welcome he's received, Robert.
They want him to get brave. They want him to get brave. It's on the head now. Nice.
Oh, the
A little
Ronaldinho.
kiss. The little Ronaldinho there. Beautiful.
Well, very brave indeed. Look how comfortable he is on the ball. In front of such a large crowd as well. I mean, that goes to show the experience as well right there, right? What we talked about before. And he's not stopping either. Oh, hey!
Robert Ronaldinho.
There we go. Incredible scenes. Here at the Spotify Camp Nou of Robert Lewandowski as a Barça player.
A few notes to take from what just happened. The display of enthusiasm of our president, Joan Laporta. First, I think he came on with good energy because the fans chanted his name, so that made him feel even more enthusiastic. Obviously, he knows he's made a power move here. He's made a superb signing for Football Club Barcelona. We heard from him and from the players. Speaking a few words in Catalan as well, which is something that fans will definitely appreciate and like. Then the other thing that was noteworthy, you mentioned it before and we've just seen it now as well. Robert Lewandowski, number 9.
Number 9, Rick, is going to be our number 9 for the season. It's official.
Yeah, and that's the number that he deserves as a player who's scored so many goals over the years. You can't say no, can you, to a player like that when they've got such a great track record as a striker. And I think the keepy-ups were incredible. And talking about his technique earlier, any questions about it? There you go, that's the answer. Absolutely sensational technique.
We saw him wear number 12 during the US tour. It didn't feel natural. It felt provisional.
Exactly. And now we're seeing Robert Lewandowski partake in the traditional rondo as well with some of the players and kids from the Barça Academy, and after that he will head back into the dressing room.
Get him in the middle.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we've seen that with the other player. We saw Rafinha get in the middle, Christensen and Kessie as well. In fact, we'll see if Robert is saying, oh, he's taking this serious. He's not going to be caught out when he caught in the middle. Oh, some skills there. Not bad. Some skills from the Barça Academy. As I mentioned, he will head into the dressing room after this to get changed once again. As he will take to the hot seat and address the press prior to this rondo that took place. And some of the other statements that were made and really stood out, Robert and Rick, was perhaps of President Joan Laporta's talking about the effort that the player made to come here. We know, of course, that he was a wanted player by so many clubs throughout Europe, from the Premier League, in the French League as well. Of course, Bayern wanted to keep him as well, but it really, in the end, it was the will of the player.
Well, trophyless last season. Players still want to come to Barca. That's important. Barca has an important power of attraction, and players are making the effort to come to us.
Exactly, to the frustration perhaps of many other clubs. Barca still, luckily for us, has that pull and attraction, Rick.
No doubt. It's one of the things that if Lewandowski was open to joining various clubs, it would have been much, much harder for Barca to negotiate a deal for him. So yeah, Laporta thanking Pinizavi as well, Lewandowski's agent, in that, because it shows you the effort they both made. They both said, we want to come to They both said, we want to come to Barcelona, and that gave the club a position which they could negotiate with Bayern from, because then Bayern know the only option is Barca. They can't auction him among other clubs. Exactly. It was just Barca. And like we've seen with Koundé, Rafinha as well, those players were really the target for other clubs as well, but they waited for Barca, and that gave the club the chance to bring them. And by bringing players like this, it means in the future other players will do the same. They say, oh, Lewandowski, Koundé, Rafinha, they wanted Barca, and they'll wait as well for Barca in the future.
We saw it, in fact, of course, also with players the likes of Rafinha and Koundé as well, who were wanted by other clubs, but in the end they chose Barca as well, making an effort. Rick, Robert touched upon a very interesting point as well, the fact that Xavi is building something so interesting, something so young and dynamic. I mean, we talk often about the experience that these older players bring to the squad, but what do you think the younger players also give to these older and experienced players?
I think they give them energy. They give them the desire to win trophies. The young players are the ones that haven't won it yet. They need to win. They want to win, and so they can help motivate the older players who have amazing experience, technique, and skill. But sometimes, as you get older as a player, when you've you need younger guys to be able to help drive you on and say, and to give you a purpose, to guide them as well. I think for someone like Lewandowski, he'll take pleasure in helping players like Ansu Fati to learn some of the things that he's learned over the years, and that's the cycle of life as you get older. And I think it's important to have that blend.
We can see right now Robert Robert Lewandowski doing the walk of honor.
That's it.
All around the... So we'll actually have him right here next to us. We're going to be in, well, let's say, about a couple of minutes maybe. He's doing the walk past lateral, which is to our left here, saluting all the fans, greeting all the fans, thanking all the fans. I mean, he heard his name being chanted here in the day of his official presentation without even having scored a goal yet for Barca. Imagine how this is going to erupt when he scores a first goal.
My goodness, Robert, I mean...
Imagine if he scores in a Clásico.
Exactly. Of course, he has experience as well scoring against Real Madrid, so that's always a welcomed feature and trait that is welcomed by Barca fans. And we heard as well him address the fans talking about how he appreciates the support. These fans, all of us Barca fans, all of us culés are so hungry, of course, for this team to be at the top again, to reach the top once more. And I mean, I think in that regard, with all the signings that we've seen throughout the summer and the signing of this mega superstar, the likes of Robert Lewandowski, the fans will be back in the stadium like never before.
Most definitely. Definitely, I'm hoping to see packed games here at Camp Nou this season. We know about the issues last season as well. There were those members who deferred and left their seats vacant for one season because the COVID situation is still a bit uncertain, a bit messy. So there was 26,000 who vacated their seats for a season. They'll be back this year as well, and I'm hoping that we're going to see full attendances here at Camp Nou regularly as Robert Lewandowski is approaching our position here. So we'll see. No, of course, we're going to say hello to him and see if he maybe even walks over to us. I imagine he won't. We can see.
We can get a few words. I doubt it, but you'll have to excuse us.
See our colleagues there from Barca Video, from Barca social media. Our colleague Sarah Salapor walking right by us right now. And Robert Lewandowski
this is us.
walking past us now here.
The man of the hour.
The man of the hour. Didn't acknowledge us, but that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. We'll forgive him. We'll forgive him. As long as he scores the goals, we'll forgive him. He was more focused on the fans, obviously.
As he should. As he should.
They're the ones who are sitting here and have come solely to see Robert Lewandowski here at the Spotify Camp Nou today.
That's it. Looking very comfortable indeed. Looking very, I mean, he just fits right in. I mean, we talk about his experience. That surely must help on these big grand occasions, be presented in front of nearly record crowds. We saw him juggling the ball. A lot of players are a little bit timid. Doesn't always work out in the best way, but he just seems so at ease at the moment.
I was interested to see this today because he's been at Bayern for 8 seasons. That's a long time to spend at one club, and he's not, he wouldn't have had a presentation like this before because he'd been there for so long. So I was wondering if he'd show any nerves. And, I mean, in the box, on the pitch, never any nerves. He's ice cold in front of goal. But I wondered with all the fans, as for an event, he's quite a humble guy. Even despite the quality in his career he's had, he's quite humble and not too noisy. He's not a big showman off the pitch, but he, I think he's been very, very natural today. No nerves at all. Really enjoyed it. Amazing keepy-ups. I mean, natural.
Robert, we were before talking about making the comparisons, drawing the comparisons between his arrival and that of Ronaldinho. During the juggling, we saw him kiss the ball.
I mean, Ronaldinho elements in there. Obviously, Ronaldinho was a magician. He was top level juggler there. But Robert Lewandowski introduced the kiss of the ball, leaving it on his forehead. Of the elements that Ronaldinho had in there. So obviously, this is something that is exclusive for today. What we're hoping to see from Robert Lewandowski from now on is the ball going into the back of the net. in the way he's done in the past seasons. He's a top-notch goal scorer. He can score with his right, with his left, with his head. He can score from inside the box, outside the box. He can create for himself. He can participate in build-up. Barca have made a superb addition to the team here, and one that is going to fit in immediately and seamlessly.
Yeah, I think so. I'm really excited to see him playing for Barca, and I think Sunday will be a big day at the Camp because now he's got the number 9 shirt as well. I think the goals are going to come on Sunday, and it'll open his account for Barca against Pumas.
Sunday will be a big We've got a lot of information coming your way as well about that. Traditionally, I mean, grand day for Barca when we officially present the entire team in front of the fans ahead of the start of the new La Liga season. And I mean, and with that regard as well, the first game in La Liga is against Rayo Vallecano, home at the Camp Nou, a team that we have a little bit of a bone to pick with as well, seeing as the trouble that they gave us last season. So a great occasion to maybe kick off this new season with this new signings.
I think, yeah, they can make a statement win on the first day of the season. If they get a few goals, I think it'll be a great sign for what's to come this season. And I think that the key is going out there and enjoying it, as you know, as the famous quote that Barca like to live by. And I think the players will go out and enjoy it. There's so many creative players they've now got in the team, and it really is a really exciting season to come.
I have to say, I'm personally done with the summer. I'm done with the heat. I'm done with the pre-season. I'm done with it all. I want the season to start. I want to. The official games. I'm excited to see this new team with veteran leadership from players like Lewandowski and the ones we already have as well. Sergio Busquets, Jordi Alba, Gerard Piqué, the young and up-and-coming talent of Pedri, Gavi, Ansu Fati, Eric Araujo, all of them making a step further into their development. And then the new additions as well, who've looked superb, and we'll talk about them in a minute. Throughout the preseason, Rafinha, what an impact. He's had immediate impact, scoring goals and creating and showing what he can give us this season. And the free transfers, who I always say, not for us necessarily in media or as club representatives, but maybe for the fans. They're not as splashy as signings as Robert Lewandowski, for example, the likes of Kessie and Christensen. They've shown what they can bring to the team. They have proven to be very valuable players that Xavi is going to be able to count on this season.
Absolutely. I mean, in that sense, we perhaps can draw further parallels to when Ronaldinho signed for the club, such a mega signing at the time. But under Frank Rijkaard, the team wasn't entirely...
Diego, Lewandowski wants to talk, so let's listen to him.
Thank you very much.
One last Forza Barca, as now he will head into the dressing room once again to get changed and head on over to the press room where he will answer all of the questions of both the national and international press. And Rick, just to continue the point that I was making before, drawing the parallels to the season when Ronaldinho signed for Barca, the signing of a mega star, that under Frank Rijkaard, I mean, the team wasn't fully clicking just yet, and it actually took one of the fundamental pieces that Robert was alluding to, the likes of Kessie, the likes of Christensen, back in that was perhaps David's the best example. That really was that final piece of that puzzle that allowed the team to really become successful and fully, cohesively build this collective success.
Who's going to be the fortunate fan here who gets the ball? He's kicked it into the stands. Someone caught it. A great moment. Robert Lewandowski embracing it, enjoying it, and giving the fans what they want.
That's it.
Yeah, he's in his element. And to answer your question, Diego, I agree. I think it is the kind of transformation that the club needs. And it's really hard to get the right chemistry of players. And I think that Barca have managed to do that. One word I would apply to all of the new signings is intensity. They all play with intensity. You've seen like Rafinha's pressing, Lewandowski's pressing. Kessie has been absolutely remarkable how he's fitted into the team so well after just a few games. And I think he adds that third man that you need need in midfield to break into the box. He's got the ball in really attacking positions that I was surprised at seeing. And I think that Christensen does that in defence as well. I think that it's a great little concoction Barca have this season.
Before we go to Bruno, just to add on to what Rick said, we've seen glimpses of it already throughout the pre-season, how this team is going to press, because that's what Xavi wants. He wants to force mistakes from the opponent in their own half, create quick opportunities, and when you create opportunities and you've got a killer, a born goal scorer like Robert Lewandowski, you've got higher probabilities of scoring many, many goals.
Very exciting indeed, Robert. And on that note, why don't we now connect with Bruno Ballester to get some more impressions of the fans if they've just witnessed history here at the Spotify Camp Nou.
Well, and here we are with the family. Hello, what's your name?
Witold Miller.
You came just for the Robert Lewandowski presentation from Poland.
Yes, we're special for this presentation.
What is your opinion about this player?
The best of the world, #1, and special, the best player in Barcelona.
So now you're gonna be a new Barca fan after this signing?
We are Barca fans. More like 10 years we have in Warsaw, Barca Academy. We are supporters Barca all life, and for us it's big special day that Polish player play in Barcelona.
How do you think Lewandowski is gonna help the team, FC Barcelona? How do you think he can help the team?
He shoot a lot of goals. She's very good player, and we are all supporters of the world are very happy because this is the best player of the world.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, you can see they came expressly from Poland to here just to see this presentation, and now, of course, they are going to enjoy all Barca games supporting the team and, of course, our new striker, our new number 9.
Excellent stuff, Bruno. Thanks for that. And how good is it to see, of course, all these international Barca fans also back in the Camp Nou and being so excited about their national star joining a club like Barca.
It's what you tend to get now in the summer as well. You've got lots of tourists coming into the city, and occasions like this, then the Gamper Trophy as well. I'm sure we'll see lots of tourists as well. And as the season goes on, you'll get the members coming back in as well. The members are probably on holiday now. They're probably happy to vacate their seats and let the tourists come and enjoy the experience.
Yeah. But as President Laporta said himself, of course, he's encouraging all of you fans, all of you, everybody watching that are here in Barcelona to come on down for the Joan Gamper Trophy. It's going to be an absolute party from start to finish. It'll be over 2 days. In fact, the festivities will start as early as of tomorrow on Saturday. Activities will be surrounding the Camp Nou. We've got all kinds of games, football games, the 3-on-3s, TikTok challenges, different sports as well that will take part. As well, we have a performance of a magician.
Yeah, come on over to Camp Nou. There's lots of entertainment. There's lots to do here throughout the weekend, especially on Sunday for the Gamper, which, playing against Pumas, will also serve as a tribute, a well-deserved tribute to Dani Alves.
Absolutely, Dani Alves, of course, the new signing for Pumas. Yes.
Yeah, it'll be a great occasion. I'm wondering about the magician. Is it Pedri?
Yes. They might have Pedri out there. Pedri Potter. Right, shall we take a look at some of what we've seen from Lewandowski in the games in the pre-season? Yeah. Because even though he hasn't scored, I feel he's been impressive. He's made an impact already. You saw how many defenders he draws in, and he creates opportunities in that way for his teammates.
Let's take a look at that.
Made his debut against Real Madrid. He started in all 3 games, played 45 minutes against Real Madrid, played 62 against Juve, 73 against New York Red Bulls. I felt like Xavi kept him on for a few extra minutes to see if he finally got that goal that he wanted. But we already saw against Real Madrid. Created a couple of opportunities, could have scored already in the Clásico.
Yeah, he had a couple of good chances and did
so
quite well. A good leap on him as well. We saw for a header that went just over. I think that Lewandowski showed good signs, but I mean, really, it's minutes in the legs and in the friendlies is the most important thing. Get up to speed, get up to fitness, and then bang in the goals once the season really begins.
And this is what I was talking about before, the game in which Xavi started Dembélé, Lewandowski and Aubameyang primarily on the left, but Robert Lewandowski also willing to switch positions, making a few down the left. I'm not sure if it's this action here. Yes, it is. Here we'll see him make the run alongside the sideline, putting in a cross. And it's not his main skill, obviously. It's not what he does primarily, but he is able to do that as well. And that will interesting to see if Xavi mixes it up with the likes of Alba, with Ansu Fati, with Ferran Torres. Players will also like to be in the middle.
Yeah, I think that in the modern game especially, you have to be very versatile, and Lewandowski adds that. And back in his Dortmund days, sometimes Jurgen Klopp would use him as a number 10, so he has that creative element in his game, even in recent years. He's been a pure goal machine. He still has it in his box of tricks, and like you said, we saw it in this game, and I reckon we'll see it at times in the season.
And what we also saw is good communication with his teammates. We've seen conversations in those clips between Busquets and Lewandowski. Jordi Alba and Lewandowski. Jordi Alba signalling play the long ball, be in that spot, and that's something that Barca have also gained. Someone, a target man, someone that they can hoof the ball forward to. He can bring it down, they can send him a melon, he'll bring it down, he'll control it, and he can feed his teammates, the oncoming teammates.
I expect anyone watching a Barca game at home on TV might see Jordi Alba play this pass. Where's that going to? And then suddenly if Robert Lewandowski in an ocean of space, because he's so good at finding that space and exploiting it. And I think that's another one to look out for with Koundé as well, another good passer of the ball.
And we've seen connections with Christensen as well, who's got great distribution from the back. I'm sure we were talking about Jordi Alba. Jordi Alba will be very pleased to have someone in the box who can meet his crosses there. This is the game against New York Red Bulls, one in which we saw frustration, we saw the smile of frustration. Ultimately of Robert Lewandowski as he saw the keeper deny several of his opportunities. He got taken off and replaced in the 73rd minute. We've got a clip there of him saluting everyone on the bench, already settled in and integrated in the team. And
we're seeing as well that all of the teammates are so eager for him to get his goal, probably just as eager as himself. But after every chance, we're seeing the little pat on the back, a little high five to sort of keep his...
they know the goals are coming. They know the goals are coming. They're not concerned.
I think it's the number 12. I think the number 9, with the number 9 now, the goals will start.
And I keep saying, he was saving it for Spotify Camp Nou. Spotify Camp Nou. He wanted to score here.
Well, there we are seeing some of the scenes of the press conference, or the place where the press conference will take place. Still empty seats for now, but pretty soon President Joan Laporta, Mateo Alemany and Robert Lewandowski will be taking those 3 seats.
It'll take a little bit still, because Robert Lewandowski is changing into something a bit more,
in his Clark Kent.
Formal something. Right. The team trained this morning. Gavi's birthday, as we said before.
Yes.
And in this seat, the team continued to prepare for the kickoff of the season.
The team training this morning at the Ciutat Esportiva. All the players back and acclimatized once again after the European trip. We saw Koundé there as well, training with the first team players, and Rafinha, all the new signings, Marc-André ter Stegen, and well, again, with all of these new faces that have joined the team, you can just imagine the sort of the buzz and excitement within the team itself. Of course, Aubameyang also being teamed up with what was once his teammate at Borussia Dortmund.
And Barca being able to enjoy something that they weren't able to enjoy last season, and Xavi as well. A pre-season with a full healthy squad, barring Ferran Torres, who had a little bit of an issue with his foot, and we haven't seen him throughout the games in the pre-season. But he travelled with the team. He was part of the expedition. He was with his teammates. There was that team-building thing going on. And for Xavi, of course, the ability to work for 5-6 weeks with his team, to get the ideas across, and to just have all the mechanisms work, and it's going to take time as well. It's not going to happen. It's not all going to happen in the first game of La Liga against Rayo Vallecano. We won't see the best version of the team maybe until, what, November, maybe February. Who knows, because there's the World Cup gap in the middle as well. But Xavi will definitely have enjoyed having these 5-6 weeks to work with a full team, a full healthy team. Let's not forget that last season, for example, we had the Olympics going on. We had the Euros previously. We had Ansu Fati out injured. That's not the case this year.
Yeah. It will be an atypical season, of course, seeing as the World Cup will interrupt play, both the Champions League and the domestic league as well. But as Robert mentioned, Rick, it's a very good sign for Xavi to have this entire preseason with such a full squad.
It's very important. But when Xavi came in last year, it was in the middle of the Champions League. It was in the middle of La Liga. There was no time to work with the players, really. You work with them maybe one session, then you have a game, then you have recovery session the next day, and you're losing days to recovery sessions, which is essential to keep the players fit and healthy, which I think that Xavi, since he's come in, has done a very good job with doing. I think that there's been less injuries. The team is looking good. Like you said, the full squad now, and a full length of time for Xavi to tactically get what he wants in order, because those mechanisms that Barca have in their team are absolutely crucial to when you've got a coach like Xavi who is so dependent on the tactical side of things rather than maybe the motivational side of things, which he does as well. But with him, he's very meticulous when it comes to tactical elements.
And one of the things that I enjoyed about the interview that we have with Robert Lewandowski on Barca TV Plus, one of the things that he said is that one of the attractions to come here was Xavi precisely, and his clear ideas. He has one clear idea of how he wants to do things, and that's good in the sense of, okay, you can either be on board or off board with that. And the players who don't want to play that style, they're going to say no. But the idea is so strong and it's so attracting that many players will want to take on the challenge and come here and play that style that Xavi Hernandez wants to impose.
Yeah, I said this to you when we did Jules Koundé's presentation. I don't think there's any more projects that are more attractive right now in Europe than what Barca have cooking here, because it's a team that is full of young talent, full of experienced players as well who can help with that, and it's just they're on the border of doing something great. It's a team that could go on and do something great. It's primed for it, and that's what's so attractive, because it's harder to join a team that's, you know, if you win everything 2 seasons in a row, where do you go from there? What's the appeal of joining that team if the only way is down? For Barca, I think the way is up. They've got so much room to grow into.
It most definitely is. And sorry, Diego, one of the other things that Lewandowski said in that interview is that when he played against Barca last year, he saw the likes of Ansu Fati, Pedri, Gavi, and he thought, oh, this is something interesting. There's some talent. That's something that's developing. That's something that's growing. That's something that might be worthwhile joining. And you think of those games, and Bayern absolutely rolled over Barca. It was 2-3-0 wins for Bayern Munich, both in Munich and here in Barcelona. In fact, here in Barcelona, Lewandowski scored 2 goals, and you even had the feeling that Bayern could have scored a couple more. But there were glimpses. I remember Gavi coming on in that second half and fighting against everyone and battling and just not letting one loose ball go unfought. And players see that. Players see that and they observe, and then from a distance he probably saw what was going on in the second half of the season. And that 4-0 win against Real Madrid and all those impressive performances and all that run of games in which Barca scored 4 consecutive goals, with the addition of Aubameyang, Adama, Ferran Torres and Dani Alves as well, especially in that second half of the season. And you could see that the tendency is to go upwards, and that's why players also want to join that. As you say, there's a lot of room for improvement still, but there's players who can come in and help solidify that.
Is that, I mean, we talk about the attraction, the lure that Barca still has, given, you know, the history of the club, and as well all of these young players, the Gavis, the Nikos, the Pedris, the Ansus, etc. But Robert touched upon an interesting fact as well. The call from the coach, Xavi. The fact that it is Xavi, even though he's still a very young coach. I mean, he's had his experience, of course, out in the Middle East with Al-Sadd, but now at Barca, he's had a bit over half a season, let's call it, with the Barca first team. Has that surprised you at all, the lure of the Barca coach himself? We know the fantastic players he was, but the calls to the players that he makes and able to convince them to join his project, has that surprised you at all? Is that just a given, an obvious?
I think it's more more the latter, yeah. I think it's to be expected when you've had a career as a player like Xavi did with Barcelona and Spain, winning more or less everything there is to win. A lot of the players who he's signing now would have grown up watching him thinking this guy is an absolute legend. And the fact that he's a young coach is a benefit in that sense too, because often if the coach is, say, 30, 40 years older than the squad, they will never have watched him or maybe seen videos or highlights. But as Xavi is a player, they will know, and for him to call them is probably very exciting in itself. And then,
Lewandowski's played against Xavi. I mean, the only game he's lost against Barca was that 3-0 win for us in the semi-finals in 2015, and Xavi was a part of that team. Lewandowski was a part of Bayern Munich as well. In fact, he scored in the return game. So Lewandowski even knows what it is to play against Xavi and that Barca that marvelled the world.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and if you can't beat him, join him, right? It's like that. And I think that Xavi is a coach who knows exactly what he wants, and that is very appealing for a player. If he says to them, this is how I see you fitting into the team, this is how the team's going to work, this is who you'll be playing with, this is what's going to happen, and these are the positions you'll be getting the ball in, I think they'll be excited by that, rather than a club signing who somebody at the club says, oh, we want to bring you in, they get there and they don't know what the role is for them, and the coach says, oh, we'll use you, oh no, we'll change your position, we'll use you out here, and suddenly the dream is not what it was. I think that Xavi is so clear, and he's going to follow through with what he's told these players.
No, you go.
Well, we talked about Robert Lewandowski's fit within this team, within the Barca system, the fact that Pep Guardiola has also, of course, coached this player for 2 seasons, and his influence upon his game, and how he's really convinced Robert Lewandowski of the Barca style of play, and how that we expect to be a seamless fit within Xavi's system as well. But what about in the domestic league, in La Liga itself? He's coming from the German Bundesliga, much more physical, perhaps aggressive style of play. How do you think he will fit within a more tactical league, let's call it?
I think it can be hard sometimes for strikers to come in and play with the defence, which is often very, very well organised in La Liga, much more so than people often give credit for. I think La Liga defences are very strong, but I think Lewandowski is at such a level where I think he's going to come in and score easily 30 goals this season in La Liga. Quite possibly will be the top scorer.
Ultimately, when you've got that knack for scoring, for finding the loose ball and putting it in the back of the net, it doesn't really matter, because when Barca play their attacking style, there are going to be loose balls inside the box. There are going to be crosses that are just tap-ins for Robert Lewandowski. So I think it will be seamless. I think Robert Lewandowski also, we've mentioned before, he's played under Pep Guardiola. He's played under that style of football that Xavi wants to play as well. So that will make it a little bit easier. And he's had time to run with his teammates. He's had time to play with them. I don't think it's going to be an issue at all.
Well, we are counting down the days, of course, for La Liga to start. It's just a little over a week away. The first game will be right here at the Camp Nou against Rayo Vallecano. But before that, we have, of course, the Joan Gamper Trophy to play as well. That will be against the Mexican side Pumas, where, as you mentioned, Dani Alves will be able to get his much-deserved tribute as well in front of the home fans.
Most definitely. He made an effort to come here, to bring his experience, to come join the team, to come help the team make that little leap forward, that little leap up that they needed. He brought in, as I said, joy, experience, that's extravagance that Dani Alves brings, and well, the decision was made that he would not continue. He's moved on. He's gone to Pumas, probably to win more titles. He's the player with the most titles ever, I think, and we wish him the best of luck, and he will get this much-deserved tribute here at the Camp Nou. I was going to say before, Rick, you were talking about Xavi and what he wants, and one of the things that he openly said he wanted was more depth in this team. There were issues that needed to be addressed, mainly one on each end. Barca were conceding too many goals. Barca weren't scoring enough goals. And those issues have been addressed. We've talked about Lewandowski joining the team up front. Rafinha can also score as well. Let's talk a little bit about the other signings as well, while we wait for the Lewandowski press conference in the Auditori here right next to us. Christensen, Kessié, Koundé. Let's start with the defence. I've been very impressed with what we've seen from Christensen at the back, both in defensive tasks and in ball distribution as well.
Yeah, he's been like a glove, fitting like a glove into the Barca style. I think that there's a lot of depth in the defence now, which gives Xavi the option to use different formations, different setups. We saw when he first arrived, he tried in 2 games to play with 3 at the back, and maybe that's something he can go back to now if he wants, because he's got enough centre-backs to be able to do it and not worry if there's an injury, he can still do it. but he'll probably start the season with the 4-3-3 that he's traditionally relied on, at least for most of the second half of last season. And I think that Christensen gives him the chance to use Araujo as a right back.
Yes.
When we've seen against Vinicius Jr. in pre-season.
Yeah.
Against tough players, fast players on the wing, you might want to put Araujo out there. Or Jules Koundé, who's also played there sometimes in the past. I think that's a good flexibility that he's got. And of all seasons, this one, you need the depth with the World Cup in the middle of the season. Could be any number of problems after the World Cup for all teams, because you don't know what's going to happen. Obviously, it's very hot where they'll be playing in the World Cup as well, and it could result in injuries or players coming back a bit tired and need a bit of time. And I think that Xavi has the depth to handle that now.
And before we see the images of Robert Lewandowski in the dressing room just getting changed before he came out for this presentation, a quick word on Kessié as well, because he was maybe the most unknown player, even though he's a Serie A champion, but probably the one that the fans knew the least about. But he's shown already in these pre-season games what he brings to the table. It's not just energy, it's not just ball recovery, it's not just muscle in midfield, it's also the ability to get into the box, to create opportunities, to be in the right spot and make the right pass. We've seen all of that from Kessié in this pre-season. I've been very, very impressed as well.
Yeah, and also the way he communicates with his teammates as well. We've seen him sort of in these early training sessions as he just arrived at the Camp Nou, taking Nico under his wing. We saw him dialogue and communicate a lot with the younger players as well, with Aubameyang, feeding him assists in training sessions as well. And I mean, he's going to go down as one of those signings that perhaps, as you mentioned, Robert, kind of went under our radar, but could prove vital for Xavi's system.
I think so. I think he could end up playing a lot more than perhaps people expected when he was signed.
Yeah.
I think he could be crucial in the midfield. I can imagine him in sort of the right interior position with Pedri on the left and then Busquets behind. I think that's a combination that has more or less everything you'd want in a midfield. Not to leave Gavi out, because of course he could play in either of those interior positions very well as well. It gives Xavi what he needs in terms of flexibility, in terms of depth, in terms of when players are out. He can have another player that's just as good to come in and step into that team.
Well, we've seen the player Robert Lewandowski here at the Spotify Camp Nou already make his first touches, and we are moments away from the press conference to start as well. As you can see, the press room, the auditori has already started to fill up. But why don't we take a look at Robert Lewandowski in the Barca dressing room, getting dressed in that beautiful new shirt ahead of the new season. It's a beautiful new shirt, isn't it? I really like this year's shirt.
I like the kits this year, generally. The first, second and third kit. Robert Lewandowski arriving in his dapper suit there and getting changed. You can see him next to number 15. That's Christensen. And number 21 on the other side, Frankie de Jong.
Is that set? No,
I'm not sure if it's set, but that's what it is at the moment. Anyway, Robert Lewandowski lacing his boots and getting ready for that very special moment that he experienced here at the Camp Nou. One that I think he enjoyed and embraced.
Yeah, I think so.
I was wondering whether he would, like, when they had the ball in the air, whether as a natural striker he was just going to turn and like volley it towards the goal. But yeah, luckily for us he didn't. Yeah.
I remember years and years ago. I mean, and we were drawing parallels before with that season when Samuel Eto'o was presented here at Camp Nou. He just ran off with the ball and scored a goal for the delight of all the fans here.
One of many.
One of many, definitely. Samuel Eto'o, what a legend.
But he is very happy indeed. I mean, I think that's one of the characteristics as well that describes Robert Lewandowski, his smile as well, his good humor. We've seen him even be brave enough to take the TikTok and partake in some of those TikTok challenges, as he now, or moments ago, took to the field, stepped on the Salid y Disfrutad.
And that's something that we hope he'll be able to do this season here at Camp Nou, the Spotify Camp Nou, to go out and enjoy himself here and score many goals, with assists provided from Ousmane Dembélé, from Rafinha, from Ansu Fati, from Gavi, from Pedri, from all these quality players that we have in this squad that I feel is going to be very, very competitive this year. I mean, no one can ensure that Barca are going to win titles. There were very good teams out there. There are fierce competitors, but Barca will at least be able to go up against them and have a fair chance.
I mean, yeah, I think we have to be up there with the favorites again for all trophies.
I think so. I think they're in contention for the Champions League this season. Last season I had my doubts about that. This season they're in that elite bracket that could win the competition. And I think it's important not to forget some of the players that have been playing here before. We're so excited about all the new signings coming. But like Ousmane Dembélé, like you mentioned, was the most creative player in La Liga last season. What a treat for Lewandowski to have a player like Ousmane Dembélé to lay balls on a plate for him in the box. I think that he's going to have a good supply from Pedri and Dembélé especially.
Well, compatriot of Dembélé, and the latest arrival here at Barca is Jules Koundé. And there's a curious little fact. Koundé and Lewandowski have played against each other in the final of the European Super Cup. The win was for Lewandowski's side, even though he didn't score. We interviewed Jules Koundé the other day at the Ciudad Deportiva Joan Gamper. He said, of course, he remembered that game, that he was sad that his team lost, but ultimately that he was happy as the hours went on, that he performed well against the top striker like Robert Lewandowski, saying that it's always hard to defend players who have all the options. And that's something that defenders in La Liga are going to find this year, that who do I defend in this Barca attacking line? Do I go for Ansu Fati? Do I stay with Lewandowski? Dembélé's on the other side. or Rafinha, who's going to drive inside and smack it from the edge of the box. And I think that unpredictability that Barca are going to have up front, and that array of options, that arsenal of weapons that Xavi is going to have, is going to cause nightmares to our opponents.
Absolutely. I mean, even in our defensive line, sorry, Rick, we have goal scorers, the likes of Araujo and Jules Koundé, who can also score as that scoring ability as a player.
Yeah, both very dangerous in the box, but also like Koundé, for example, charging into the box,
yeah, exactly,
with the ability to score, especially if he's playing on the right-hand side. But yeah, it's just a remarkable squad, depth in every position. I think that Barca are very well prepared for the season, and there are goals from everywhere. It's not even just a question of who do I defend, it's a question of can I defend them. We saw Ousmane Dembélé score 2 against Juventus with 2 brilliant individual dribbles, and no matter whether he had 2 defenders on him or not, you can't stop him.
And that's something that's been addressed as well this season, is actually getting the ball to the attacking positions. Sometimes we saw Barca struggle last season, having to play a few too many long balls or a few too many crosses. With the likes of Jules Koundé, with Andres Christensen arriving, Eric Garcia also playing in that pairing of centre-halves, Barca now have elite distributors from the back, players who can actually drive the ball forward and connect directly with Lewandowski or with the wingers, or they can just play the long ball forward and it will be equally as effective. Their passing percentage is superb. They'll all be over 90%, I imagine.
Even Marc-André ter Stegen, of course.
Exactly,
obviously. In the pre-season against Ulot.
Yeah,
pass to Aubameyang. Yeah.
I was going to say similar. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point in this season ter Stegen gets an assist for Lewandowski with Lewandowski's clever
Well, he had an assist for Suarez years ago, so we'll see.
And against Ulot with Aubameyang. Robert, I just wanted to ask you, I mean, seeing as you covered it, all right, well, I will not be able to fire off that last question, as we're going to leave you now with the press conference of Robert Lewandowski, the new Barca player, and he'll be joined by President Joan Laporta and perhaps Rafa Juste as well, or will it be Mateo Alemany? I think it is Alemany that will take the hot seat next to his 2 colleagues there. But, well, maybe I still have time to ask you this question, Robert. In the years that you've been able to enjoy these player presentations, where does this one rank in terms of excitement?
I'd say it ranks top.
Yeah.
I'd say it ranks top. Maybe up there with Xavi coming back as a coach. Back in November, the atmosphere here at Camp Nou was exceptional as well today. And I think these are just like presentations of hope. And this is what Barca fans need right now. Hope that the team can be competitive again.
Well, there is the hope symbolized in one man. We're going to leave you now with the words of the man of the hour, Robert Lewandowski, as he will be answering the questions of the national and international press. Thank you for joining us here on Barca TV Plus. We will, of course, continue this broadcast right after the press conference. But for now, we will leave you with the press conference.
Segurament també una de les qüestions serà la seva adaptació.
Bona tarda. Benvinguts
Good afternoon.
a l'Auditori 1800 99. Comencem aquesta segona part de la
We're going to start the second half of this presentation. Robert Lewandowski.
Compareixença al president del Futbol Club Barcelona, el
Joan
senyor
Laporta,
Joan
the chairman of the club.
el director de futbol, el senyor Mateu Alemany, i el
Mateu
nou
Alemany, the
jugador del
sports
Barça.
himself.
Començarem donant la paraula al president, que farà un
We'll
primer
begin with the
discurs
chairman.
per a la premsa.
Sí, bé, molt breu, bon dia a tothom.
I'll be very, very brief.
Gràcies per ser aquí. Avui és un dia històric.
Thank you. It's a big day,
amb la presentació de Robert Lewandowski. Per tant,
historic day.
benvingut.
Welcome, Robert, to Football Club Barcelona.
Avui és un dia històric, és d'aquells dies en els que doncs, els culers sentim el club.
This is one of those days that the coolest feel the club.
Mostra de que el Barça és més que un club.
And Barça more than a club.
Els agraïments, sobretot a tu.
We thank you, of all people, because we know you've made a big effort to come here. We've made it.
Començant primer de tots per tu.
You
seguint
first, Robert.
El teu agent, el Pini Sahavi.
Pini Sahavi second.
Doncs el Mateu Alemany, el Jordi Cruyff, tots els que heu treballat.
And the rest of the people working in these negotiations.
La Junta Directiva amb el Rafael Juste, com a vicepresident esportiu, tot l'equip que està vinculat al Mateu.
All the team involved in Mateu Alemany.
També doncs, vull agrair sempre els bons consells de l'Enric Massip. Aquí, tots els empleats del club hem estat pendents.
All the club members involved in this negotiation, really. We knew it was special.
Que tu tens un do especial.
We knew you had that special touch.
Davanter centre, golejador, però a més un
striker has the touch. You've got the charisma, ambition.
Ets una persona elegant i ets una persona
a very smart player.
I per tant, doncs, et guanyes el respecte de la gent. Ho hem vist aquí.
All the credit. You've seen it by yourself. Fans are really excited to see you here.
Hi ha una nova etapa i penso que serà esplendorosa la història.
It's going to be splendid. In the near future, you are part of the team now. We are proud and delighted to have you here. Thank you everyone for working in this presentation, the director's board as well.
We are
getting more and more competitive.
Sempre amb el consentiment dels socis i sòcies del club.
We always ask the season ticket holders when making big decisions. It is what we've been doing since we got here.
Estem fent la feina, estem treballant, estem
lluitant
de valent per tal que el Barça torni a ser una referència en el futbol mundial. Penso que ho estem aconseguint i això, com a president, m'omple d'orgull.
And I'm very proud of that. We are getting back to the place we deserve.
El seu suport ens ajuden a prendre les decisions que calen en aquests moments. Per tant, per mi, ja està. Gràcies.
I'm done then.
Gràcies, president. De seguida escoltarem el Robert també en roda de premsa, però abans voldria que ens donés una primera impressió després del que acaba de viure aquí a l'estadi del Camp Nou. Robert, how do you feel after what you have feel at Spotify Camp Nou?
Oh, that was something amazing, Kelly. My emotion on the pitch, when I saw so many fans on the stadium for my presentation, is I'm very happy. It's like my happiness is so high that it's sometimes difficult to find the word to explain exactly what kind of feeling I have in this moment. But that was something amazing that so many fans support me already. In the first time in the stadium, it means a lot, and I'm sure that my performance, my skills, I want to show on the pitch. But to be here, I'm very proud and very, very happy.
Amb moltes ganes, en Robert, de poder demostrar totes les seves habilitats damunt d'aquest terreny de joc. En Robert Lewandowski, ja ho sabreu, va néixer a Varsòvia el 1978. De fet, el 21 d'agost farà els seus 34 anys.
Very close to his birthday, on the 21st of August. He started off in Poland, like Poland, the team, and then he moved to Borussia Dortmund, and then, of course, Bayern Munich, when he won everything.
Sobretot a la faceta golejadora.
Many milestones, scoring goals.
Hem preparat un vídeo de benvinguda amb el millor d'en Robert Lewandowski. Parem el vídeo.
Un detall abans de la
Sorry,
benvinguda.
a little detail.
Agrair a la família del Robert Lewandowski i als amics que han vingut avui.
The family and friends.
És una prova
Robert
que
Lewandowski
és una persona molt estimada.
is a very beloved man.
Has presentat el currículum del
And the
Robert
CV,
i jo voldria explicar una
I'd
anècdota
like
que m'ha explicat la
to
seva mare.
tell something that
I can explain
his mom just told me.
Fa 20 anys va venir el Robert amb la seva mare aquí al Barça.
20 years ago, he came
la
here to
mare
the
va
Camp
tocar
Nou
la
with his
gespa, per
mom.
això avui ha tornat a tocar la gespa,
His
i li va
mom
dir,
touched
algun dia jugaràs
the
aquí.
grass and she said, someday you'll play here. That was a little bit of an anecdote.
Gràcies, president.
Thank you.
Tots ens guardem aquesta anècdota. Diumenge tocarà la gespa i esperem que també la toqui celebrant el seu primer gol amb la samarreta del Barça. Ara sí, veiem aquest vídeo de benvinguda pel Robert. I ara sí, tot a punt perquè comenci la roda de premsa.
We are all set for the press conference.
A veure, comencem la roda de premsa. Dos acotacions. En primer lloc, us demanaríem que les preguntes per respecte a Robert Lewandowski anessin més aviat dirigides a l'acte que ens ocupa, que per nosaltres...
All the questions related to this day.
Segon, dieu el vostre nom, el mitjà al qual representeu, és una pregunta per torn. Escolliu la persona a la qual voleu dirigir.
One question.
I després tenim per un tema d'agenda
Uns 30
minuts posar punt i final. Intentarem donar el màxim de preguntes. Comencem per Barça TV, com sempre. Gràcies.
Barça TV first.
Hola, Marc Brother, Barça TV. Hi, Robert, here in the right. You said in the United States that you're very motivated to be in Barça, to be with the team. You played 3 games. The president said that it can start a new era. It's an extra motivation for you to be one of the leaders of the new era for FC Barcelona, one of the reasons that you came from Bayern. Thank you.
Of course, that's for me also the big challenge to be the president of Barcelona and to show already in the first games of the season my best way to be on the pitch, not only as a player, as a striker, but also to person who can push the other players to show better performance on the pitch. And with my experience, with so many games, so many goals, also what I did, what I scored, that I know what I can try to do, that not only help the team, but also help to positive thinking more forward about our performance as a team. And this is also important for me. And I know we have a lot of young players with huge potential, and they have a huge talent as well. But in the end, this mix between experience and the young players is also important. If I can help them with some kind of words, not only technical things, skills on the pitch, but sometimes more the words I can tell him, explain, because I saw a lot in my life in football, so I have a huge experience, and if I can use it, I'm going to do this.
Hi, Robert, Francesc Latorre from TV3, Televisió de Catalunya, en directe per al canal Esport 3. Everybody knows that Barcelona is not in its best moment of the history, but not only Robert, Jules Koundé and many players are joining Barcelona right now. The question is, why is so exciting, why is so motivating to join Barcelona at this moment?
I know that the last time for Barcelona wasn't easy and was very tough. But when I spoke first time with Joan and I heard this, the way, the project and which way the Barcelona can want to follow and going, that for me was the first step to not thinking about to join to Barcelona, but already be on the same side. And I know that now in the future can be much more better. And with this squad, with this place what we have now, even the new my teammates, I see that we have the huge potential. And when I see the training session, what we are doing now in the pre-season is also important. And I see that everything's going well, everything's going in good way. So in the end of the season, when we begin the first game, we have to show, we have to prove on the pitch that we are in the right moment, the right position. Of course, sometimes it will be not easier because it's the football, you have to be ready for everything. But I think with this team, with this club and this way what they have and the project, that can be some kind of much different things the new season as the last. And I know that we can prove this on the pitch, and I'm sure that will be like that.
Bon dia, aquí a la dreta. Welcome, Robert. La meva pregunta, Roger Bussà de Catalunya Ràdio. La meva pregunta és pel president. Hem vist de Lewandowski avui amb el dorsal 9, que fins ara el duia Memphis. Com ha anat tot plegat? Si és que Memphis li ha cedit o si és que ha de marxar.
Give it to you?
Ha estat una decisió de club.
It was a club decision.
Que interessen al club.
Of course, club goes first.
D'imatge, publicitàries, i hem pensat que
era
una decisió apropiada.
He had to wear number 9.
Amb respecte, per suposat, pel
Memphis.
Però s'ha entès perfectament.
But he understood.
Hola, aquí al darrere. Welcome, Robert. La meva pregunta és pel president Joan Laporta. Aquí al darrere, president. Acabem de veure la il·lusió que genera un fitxatge com el de Robert Lewandowski. És evident que la gent té moltes ganes de veure. Dies comença la Lliga. La meva pregunta va dirigida al tema de les inscripcions. Si Robert Lewandowski
registrations, it's all about registrations now.
I en aquest sentit, si farà falta activar la venda de la resta de Barça Studios aprovada i on estem i en quines condicions estaríem.
Nosaltres hem treballat per poder-los inscriure a tots els jugadors, no només el Robert, aquesta temporada.
Register all the players.
Hem treballat fort i jo crec que bé.
I think we've done our homework.
Que fan falta per les inscripcions. I si cal fer alguna operació
més, we'll see what we need to do
ho farem, però en principi
in the following days, but we think it's all going to be okay with things as they are.
I estem a l'espera.
We are waiting.
A veure, això és una decisió de la Lliga.
But it's la Liga who has to decide.
I nosaltres hem complert amb tot el que
I think we accomplished everything that they asked for.
Que es podran inscriure.
Hola, president. Al costat d'aquí, al costat de la Marta, Adrià Soldevila de SER Catalunya. En línia amb el que li preguntava la Marta, el dimarts es va aprovar en Junta Directiva aquesta venda o activar aquesta venda.
So last Tuesday was approved at 25% Barça Studios.
Que hi ha una xifra que no la tenen massa clara.
Did La Liga ask you to do that? How did it go?
Perquè ho teníem previst de fer. Una operació, la del 49%.
Had to do it, and it was planned.
Ho teníem previst de fer. I en aquesta línia, per precaució i en previsió de que
hi ha presència
amb algunes interpretacions, ho hem fet, però és que ho haguéssim fet igual.
We would have done it anyway.
Això és per tenir d'alguna manera aquesta previsió en cas de
safety blanket.
divergents, que esperem que no, però si es produeix cap problema.
We hope it's going to be okay, but yeah, we'll see.
Germán.
Hola, buena tarde, presidente. Germán García, Radio Nacional. Al respecto de lo que le preguntaban anteriormente sobre las inscripciones y si ha habido suficiente con las tres palancas que se han aplicado.
Germán, perdona. Jo crec que la resposta del president ha estat prou contundent. Si tens una altra pregunta sobre
No, li volia preguntar per la quarta palanca, si l'aplicaran definitivament o no.
You're going
Perdona,
apply
acabo de
the...
contestar. O sigui,
I've just answered those questions.
que ja teníem previst de fer i que, en principi, si a més
was all planned.
el cas que hi hagi divergència d'interpretacions, pot ja...
It's all going to be decided by La Liga and they'll tell us.
millor.
But we are waiting.
Senyors, el Barça ha ingressat aquests 2 mesos últims, ha fet operacions per valor de 868 milions d'euros.
In the last months, the last 2 months, 800 million euros
el balanç
as incomes.
sanejat i el compte de resultats també, perquè hem donat beneficis aquesta temporada. Hem fet un gran esforç, hem hagut d'activar una sèrie d'operacions que han comportat uns actius del club, sempre de forma controlada, controlant tenint sempre l'opció de, en el temps, recuperar aquests actius.
And we can get those assets back in the future. I'm delighted with the way we've worked and all the directors will join these operations. And those were the lines. Applying to the fair play.
Com el Robert Lewandowski.
Bona tarda a tots tres. Víctor Navarro de la cadena COPE. Welcome, Robert. La meva pregunta és pel president del Barça, el senyor Joan Laporta. President, hoy le hemos visto eufórico en el Camp Nou, al lado de Robert Lewandowski.
Very excited today.
¿Qué le dice a los dirigentes del Bayern, a esa gente que ha criticado los fichajes del Fútbol Club Barcelona?
What would you say to the Bayern Munich directors being criticizing Barca?
Hoy solo hay palabras de agradecimiento a Robert Lewandowski
Today is
por
all about Robert
por venir al Barça y yo creo que
and all the words
recompensado
and the credit
durante toda su estancia
it's
en el
for
club
him.
Porque ya hemos visto el entusiasmo que ha generado.
We've seen the excitement in the stands.
Y nosotros tenemos un gran respeto por el Bayern.
We respect Bayern Munich
los clubes
and all the clubs
de fútbol de Europa. Y nada, no tengo nada más que decir.
And I have nothing else to add.
Respeto máximo por el Bayern. Ha sido una operación propia del mercado futbolístico. Ha tenido unas circunstancias especiales por la importancia, por la magnitud, por la figura del jugador,
the player made really difficult the signing, but we are very grateful to him. He wanted to be here, and he's here.
Buenas tardes, saludos. Bienvenido, Robert. Pregunta para el jugador. Robert, buenas tardes. Yo quería preguntarte, ¿a tu edad pensabas que te iba a pasar el tren del Barcelona después de una gran carrera
en el
Bayern de
was
Múnich?
about to sign in at your age?
Y si en algún momento de estas negociaciones que ha comentado el propio presidente, tan difíciles, en las que tú siempre lo tuviste claro, pensaste que podría romperse?
Did you think that negotiations could have broken?
First of all, I think that my age doesn't matter in this moment because there are only the numbers on my body. Physical body doesn't feel that I am 33 or soon 34 years because I know that I can still playing few years on the top level even longer, and I feel better even that I was 29 years old. So this is not it's not the question that we have to think about this. But if we are talking about the whole period about the transfer, for sure that wasn't easy also for me to decide to leave the Bayern Munich after 8 years, but I know it that for me, for my family, that will be the perfect next step in my life, in my career, and I was ready for this, and in the end I am here. So for sure, probably the few weeks before this period, we all together worked very hard to do this transfer. In the end, I'm here with you guys. So I think that was the best solution, and how I say already a few times that I'm very happy to be here and very proud.
Hola, Raúl Fuentes, en directo para Radio Marca. Welcome, Robert. Mi pregunta es para el presidente Joan Laporta. No sé, señor Laporta, si nos podría explicar cómo fue el proceso para fichar al polaco.
Could you tell us a bit about the negotiations?
A raíz de que se entera el Barça de que Robert quiere dejar el Bayern, o ya era la prioridad la pasada temporada que el jueves de este año era Lewandowski. Gracias.
Sí. Nosotros teníamos la intención de fichar a un delantero centro.
We wanted a top striker in the first place.
Viene un genio y nos pide 3 deseos. Pues hubiéramos querido que fuera un goleador, que
Wish
además
number 1, of course, top striker, scoring plenty of goals.
Varias
With
veces,
the Golden
y
Boot.
además fuera una garantía de gol, ¿no? Y esta persona es
And I think that person is Robert Lewandowski.
Ocurrió que Robert, su agente, yo tengo una relación
I know Robert's agent.
profesional, una relación
I've known him for a long time.
muy especial.
Know him very well. It's a very special relationship.
I'm talking about you, Pini. Fue quien le comenté, oye, hay posibilidad y
I asked him about any chance to bring him.
que sí, que el jugador
And he said yes.
le gustaría.
And he said the player would like to come to Barca.
Entonces nos pusimos inmediatamente en contacto con el Bayern de Múnich.
So we began negotiations with Bayern Munich.
Y Mateo Alemany, creo que ha hecho un trabajo extraordinario.
And then it was the turn for Mateo Alemany.
Con el secretario técnico del Bayern de Múnich, hablando con las personas responsables del
Bayern Munich people.
Trabajando como trabaja Mateo, siempre con mucha eficiencia, con discreción.
Mateo is very thorough in his work, discreet, keeping a low profile, but doing the work.
En el momento que el Bayern tenía la predisposición de hacer el traspaso, ya era una cuestión de negociar las cantidades.
So it came the time to negotiate with the money, and Mateo feels very confident on that field. Jordi Cruyff as well.
Y entre ellos, pues, trabajaron el tema.
And they both
y cuando ya se
did the
llegó a un
work.
acuerdo con el Bayern,
And then Bayern
bueno, pues tuvimos una serie de
agreed.
conversaciones. Me acuerdo que hubo varios, desde el principio hubo varios vídeos, video calls.
We worked a lot on video calls.
Podríamos inscribirlo. Esto también la tenía su
Of course,
agente.
Robert and his agents were doubtful about being able to register for Barcelona in the league.
Inscribirlo y que esto sería.
And once we said
En caso
yes,
de que tuviéramos que inscribir a uno, sería Robert
even
el
if it
primero.
was
Estaba en
only one player to be registered, he will be the man. So that was
la parrilla de salida. Y
point.
bien, se gestó todo este fichaje de esta manera, ¿no?
That was
Gracias a
how it
que
came.
también Robert ha hecho, cuando digo el esfuerzo, es que había otros clubes de Europa que ofrecían
There were
más dinero
many clubs that wanted Robert, offered him more money,
superior a la que ofrecíamos nosotros.
higher
Por eso estoy
fees.
tan agradecido.
That's why I'm
Por eso
grateful
igual
to
me
him.
veis, bueno, pues contento, pero
That's
además
why you see me
agradecido.
this excited.
Cuando un jugador desea venir al Barça, está dispuesto a venir al Barça entendiendo la situación que estamos viviendo.
He understood the situation. His agent understood the situation.
Me he prometido en su día, porque además ya me lo dijo, que algún día Lewandowski podría jugar en el Barça. Y fue como una promesa que él ha cumplido, a pesar de las presiones que ha tenido de otros clubes.
Some pressure from other clubs, his agent,
Económicamente superiores a la que nosotros podíamos hacer.
offering
El Barça ha hecho
more
un gran
money.
esfuerzo, pero se ha
But
visto
we
recompensado
also
gracias a la voluntad
made a
de
big
Robert
effort to bring Robert here,
Javi,
and it's a mutual
han tenido, pues,
effort in
deferencia,
this
esta
case,
ilusión porque el
for the
jugador
club and the
jugaba
player,
en el Barça, y junto con un gran trabajo
and of
de
course
nuestro
the
equipo
work done by our team,
de negociadores del
the
departamento de fútbol,
negotiators,
que bueno, que estamos
football
enormemente
department, and
satisfechos
we are
del trabajo que
delighted
hace Mateo, Jordi y todo el equipo.
with all the people.
Hola, Robert, d'aquí. Welcome, Robert. Juli Cramon en directe al Twitch de Gigantes.
When you spoke to Xavi, the coach, how was it?
our first conversation, I have to say that after a few minutes I know it, that which way, what kind of idea he has, and of course what he has in head to thinking about my position, to me to be as a Barcelona player. So for me was directly I understood this way, and this idea was so clearly easy to know it, what he want to do, what kind of system or tactic he want to play. So after a few minutes, I felt this connection, and I know it. Okay, this guy has idea, and he knows exactly when he want to go. So I'm staying behind, and I'm following him for sure because it's the right person in the right position.
Aquí, ¿qué tal? Muy buenas. Bienvenido, Robert. Felicidades por el fichaje. David Bernabéu del diario Sport y Sport TV. Mi pregunta es para el presidente Laporta.
Question to the president.
Una locura. Hay que decir que le hemos visto en una de sus mejores versiones. A usted al lado del futbolista, celebrando.
An astonishing performance by yourself.
Hace un año justo, aquí se estaba despidiendo Leo Messi.
A year ago, Leo Messi left. Now you bring a great player.
Bueno, primero, enhorabuena, porque creo que estás en un nuevo medio.
So, congratulations to you, because you are working in another.
Por eso el otro día te respondí en catalán, porque entendí que estás en Sport.
So you work for Sport now.
Per tant, David, enhorabuena.
Congratulations, David.
Y bien, es que hoy es un día histórico para el Barça.
Today is a historic day for Barca. We are all excited, proud, bringing a player for this caliber wants to play for Barca, and now we are in the right track. Many years ago, when I was first president, players wanted to be here, and we had so many good players. And it was perhaps easier to bring them here. All the players signed this season are fantastic. And we can really see the players want to play for Barca. The city, the country, for the league as well, strong league.
Y ahora no estoy intentando que la liga pues lo entienda de otra manera, ¿no? Yo creo que la liga, tener jugadores como
I think the league is stronger with players as Lewandowski.
En fin, sí, hace un año, pues.
Yeah, a year ago was a very sad day.
Una situación que no era deseada.
We didn't want that.
Como consecuencia de la situación económica en la que se encontraba el club.
Financially, the club was in tatters, and only a year later,
podemos decir que estamos dando la vuelta.
I think we are turning the situation.
Se ha de seguir trabajando, pero afortunadamente hoy económicamente podemos decir que hemos salido del hospital, que estamos ya pues
out of the hospital.
Pero eso no nos puede relajar y tenemos que seguir con prudencia y sostenibilidad.
Have to be cautious.
Bon dia, Roger Torelló del Mundo Deportivo. Welcome, Robert. La meva pregunta és per al senyor Mateu Alemany. Ahir coneixíem que Azpilicueta finalment decidia renovar pel Chelsea.
Azpilicueta extends his contract with Chelsea. Are you going to try and find another right back?
Iñaki, no sé si hi ha opcions de fer-lo. Gràcies. Íñigo.
Iñaki.
Íñigo, you mean?
Bueno, nosaltres hem estat al mercat fa molt de temps. És obvi que un dels jugadors que teníem interès era...
Azpilicueta was one of the players that we wanted to sign, but he's just signed this extension. So he won't be here.
Ha hagut una nova proprietat i han decidit que no volien traspassar el jugador.
But Chelsea didn't want to sell him.
Desitjaven el millor. I en quant a altres coses del mercat i de la planificació esportiva, és un tema que que ja veurem què passa. De moment
and we are working on other options. I can't tell you.
Hola, buen día. Bienvenido, Robert. La pregunta para el presidente. Joan, ahora te preguntaban sobre la euforia con la que te hemos visto. ¿Por qué tan eufórico? Explícanos.
Why are you so excited?
Lo mal que lo has pasado en este mercado, las críticas que ha habido, que si las palancas, que si
a bad time in the transfer window.
Y has dicho, estamos haciendo un equipazo y así te hemos visto desatado.
Que estamos haciendo un equipazo.
We are making a big team, strong squad. It's been a very difficult year for us.
Hemos vivido muy intensamente, con mucho una toma de muchas decisiones.
We had so many big decisions to make
mucha presión.
under a lot of pressure.
La presión la seguimos aguantando bien.
We manage, and we are proud and delighted to bring the players to the coach.
Todo lo que estamos trabajando y bueno, y seguimos trabajando para
we march on.
que el club pues ya esté pues de alguna manera en
We're in good shape, on the right track at the moment.
de crucero que necesita de estabilidad y de
We need some stability, and we're giving that to the club. We need the fans to be happy as well, and we want to win titles again. That's what we're doing.
A alto nivel y ganar títulos y así pues continuar devolviendo la alegría al barcelonismo. Desatado no, contento sí, como todos los culés.
I'm happy, just as every other culé.
Momentos de este tipo, como una figura del fútbol mundial,
bringing a player like Lewandowski to the club in front of so many fans is historic.
Muchas presentaciones.
I've been in so many presentations, and even you guys, even in Maradona's presentation.
Y se quejaba de que tuvo que estar en tercera gradería. Esta vez estará más contento porque lo ha podido ver desde
It was
el banquillo.
closer this time.
Pero quiero decir que son momentos muy emocionantes. Ha estado aquí Ronaldinho, ha estado
Ronaldinho
aquí,
was here.
En fin, los grandes jugadores de la historia.
Great players.
Y Robert, pues ha
And Robert is one of them.
estos momentos históricos que hacen que el Barça sea más que un club
And
y
of
que los
course,
culés estemos muy
those moments made Barca
y eso,
a
pues,
bigger club.
queremos que participe todo el mundo de esta
And
alegría.
we want everyone to get involved in this happiness.
Pues se me ha visto un poco
And
más
of course, I am
de la cuenta, pero
delighted,
estoy, sí.
but yeah, I'm excited.
Hola, bon dia a tothom. Josep Soldado, para Jugones de la Sexta. La pregunta es para Robert. Bueno, una de las ventajas de venir a la Liga es que vas a jugar uno de los mejores partidos de la
So you're
historia
going to be
del
playing
mundo actual, que es el clásico contra el
the
Real
Clásico against Real Madrid in the
Madrid. En
league.
esa camiseta azulgrana jugando contra el Real Madrid. ¿Tienes ganas de ver
Can
ese
you
clásico?
already see that?
Protagonizar un duelo con Benzema para ganar el
And
trofeo de máximo goleador.
face Benzema.
Of course, I'm always ready to play against Real Madrid, and I know how to play against them. For sure that the last season in Champions League and also in La Liga for Real Madrid was very successful. But now we are there also to try to beat them, and we know that will be for sure very tough. But it's the football, and the beautiful of this side is always to try to not only beat him in one game, but also try to compare not only with Real Madrid but another club as well. And you have so many good clubs in La Liga, and you have to be always ready. You have to be always show your best performance. And I know that for us will be very difficult, but for sure I'm pretty good. I'm pretty sure that we can going from the win to win every weekend, and later even in Champions League also, and during the week. So that will be also for us a big challenge. But we work very hard now in prison. We work very well, and I'm sure that we're gonna be ready for this challenge. And yeah, that will be something interesting. I don't thinking about Real Madrid or Benzema because I know that he's also an amazing striker. Since years already in Spain playing in La Liga, but for me more important will be the winning with Barcelona, not against him.
Sí, com us he comentat abans, tenim un problema d'agenda. Haurem de fer les dues últimes preguntes, sisplau, si és possible, per respecte al Robert, si poden ser dirigides amb ell, molt millor. Gràcies. Toni?
Toni Martí, de Relevo. Welcome to Barcelona, Robert. My question is for you. In the US tour, you made it clear that after winning all with Bayern, you are still hungry. But what do you do every day when you wake up to keep yourself motivated? Which is the secret?
First, I'm going to eat breakfast to be not hungry anymore. And then I'm going for the training session. Of course, you know, it's easier for me because if I'm doing this what I love. And I have to say, after so many years, I still have this feeling. I still want to do even more. The one side of this age is also positive because I have bigger experience and helped me a lot. And so long I wake up and I don't feel the pain, I feel this hungry, that means I can still playing on the top level. And until now, I never wake up with the painful or with the feeling that, oh, maybe I don't want to go to the training. No, it wasn't like that. And I'm sure that I have still power, still this mentality to playing, to working very hard, and I have fun. And this love of this and passion of this sport of football is so high that for sure will be for the next years in my head and in my heart, even more important.
Tobi Altscheffel from Munich here, this side. Tobi Altscheffel from Bild and Sportbild in Munich. Question for President Laporta. Your relationship to Bayern Munich used to be very good in the past, but now it was difficult because of what Julian Nagelsmann said, what Uli Hoeneß said in the past. So how was it to talk to Bayern Munich, and how would you describe your relation to Bayern Munich, the club at the moment?
On my view, are still good. Are still good. Have good relationship with all of them. Matteo Alemany has been talking to them in order to reach the deal, and we got it. But there was a consensus between the clubs. We respect Bayern Munich, and I think that our relationships between clubs and personally are good relationships, and will be forever because we respect Bayern Munich.
Fins aquí la roda de premsa. Moltes gràcies a tots.
Thank you very much, everyone.
We are looking forward to see you next Sunday at Spotify Camp Nou, and we hope to celebrate many goals and success with you in FC Barcelona.
Gràcies.
Tancarem l'acte
amb
un obsequi, d'un obsequi
present. It'll be
que li lliurarà
a
el
wrap.
president del Futbol Club Barcelona i el director de futbol, el senyor Mateu Alemany, a Robert Lewandowski. Aquesta benvinguda al Barça. Diumenge serà la presentació ja en aquest partit d'aquesta temporada en el trofeu Joan Gamper.
Tournament.
Moltíssimes gràcies a tots per l'assistència i fins la propera.
Everyone.
The words there of Robert Lewandowski, the new Barça player. Company. 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 company 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 Robert Lewandowski, the new Barca player, company Robert Lewandowski, the new Barca player, company 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 Robert Lewandowski, the new Barca player, company Robert Lewandowski, the new Barca player, company 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 Robert Lewandowski, the new Barca player, company company Robert Lewandowski, the new Barca player, company 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 Robert Lewandowski, the new Barca player, company